here we go, folks. Happy versus FoCuS. I don't know about you, Mr. Remo Demo Man, but I am super excited to see this series today.
Hells yeah, we're well on the way here on map number 1. Guys, give it up for Happy!
I'm sure as well, Remo, we've got some FoCuS fans in the chat. Let's go, everyone. Pick it up, pick it up. Well, I don't know about you, Remo, but I expect to see a very close contest between these two, even though the scoreline may not necessarily indicate from before the FoCuS was doing successfully well against Happy, but we're also seeing a dangerous start here, actually. FoCuS getting boxed into a corner a little bit by the DK.
Flirting with the creeps, a classic on Last Refuge. The Rock Golem here can be dangerous. Boulder flies, Dizzy! FoCuS finds himself stuck in a corner. Can he make his way out if he can? You can perhaps chalk this up as a win, but the FoCuS are now hurt already. But it's not looking the worst so far for FoCuS. DK has tough time here continuing to creep. Mana is low. FoCuS is buying time.
Yeah, as we can see, FoCuS is actually about to hit tier 2 in 5 seconds time here, which would almost certainly indicate that it's going to be that mass beastery style. We'll see the bats, the wind riders, and potentially some run-bys on those acolytes, Remo. And in the meantime, that gives Happy the opportunity to creep his level 3, although he has seemed to have blown through a lot of mana. And then, of course, the mercenary camp got involved as well, and I think that doesn't really play into Happy's early game here.
Yeah, some viewers here might be confused. What's going on here? We have a FoCuS, no barracks, double beastery, and it should also be a Torn Totem coming. Yeah, folks, if you haven't seen Warcraft in a while, this is the new build, popularized, innovated by Lin. We skip all the tier 1 units. Tier units equal bad. We rush tier 2 right away, get the Raiders and the Walkers. And this was really the true innovation by Lin. Walkers have been considered to be super trash against Undead for a long time because Destroyers counter them extremely well. But Lin figured out a timing. You tech fast, get the TC and expand. It's all about the expansion, and then you win with superior numbers. And you mentioned the bats before. You have the double beasteries to deal with the Destroyers, and it turns out when there is no Destroyers, Walkers are really good.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see FoCuS deviate from the mass air strategy and actually incorporate the Lin build. The Torrent Totem, as you pointed out, is actually going to be amazing for FoCuS to mass up those units as quickly as possible and help establish that expansion. And then with the double beastry to counter the Destroyers later on, you're able to have all the buildings in production necessary to generate the units to counter Happy's army. But the level 3 DK, which of course is what we should expect with FoCuS playing a fast tech here, and the FoCuS just gets caught out on low HP and is killed immediately.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, FoCuS steps back, gives Happy just some time to creep. Happy was tremendously slowed down in the beginning, but then when there is some room to breathe, he crept the lab, got a fast level 3, and insane items, by the way. Mana Stone, Claws, Mantle, Gigabyss, and also a Circlet that he picked up as well. And this is a rough start for FoCuS. I said it just a moment ago, it's all about the expansion. The timing of the expansion is so important. With the FoCuS here falling, the wind are certainly utterly out of the sails.
Yeah, the trouble is that the Orc expansion takes 2.5 minutes to come online. It is the slowest in the game, which is pretty painful. And of course, FoCuS, they're not able to actually fully clear the expansion, has to double back to his own side, clear an easy camp. It's just further and further delaying the gold lead that FoCuS needs in order to survive in this game. And Happy, I mean, as you pointed out, the items are insane. Mana Stone, of course, it feels like a classic Happy item.
It's going to go for the next big camp. You know, the first 2 objectives, you could say, is successful for Happy. He got level 3, he didn't lose any ghouls, and he delayed the expansion by the opponent. So everything working well so far for Happy in this early game. Next step is get strong heroes and make sure FoCuS doesn't run away with economy. And right now, Happy has like nothing to worry about. Next big item, Sobi Mask, maybe?
Oh, it's a Devotioner actually, Remo, which is a
good.
pretty good item, I would say, especially against all the damage that will be undoubtedly coming towards Happy's army. Although saying that, if the Orc heroes do get high level, we'll see a lot of spell damage. Obviously, the Devotioner won't do much to mitigate that. But for now, definitely a strong item. It feels to me like Happy's tier 3 timing is really fast. He is hitting Black Citadel already. We're not that far into the game. Oh, the Nuke is super strong right now. Level 2 Coil and the Nova. The FoCuS is definitely going to be forced into a teleport right now. Oh my gosh, what? Oh, the Spirit Link was not enough to keep the FoCuS alive against the Nuke. I think a bit of a of an underestimation of the damage there that would come out, the Spirit Link not doing enough to mitigate the DPS there.
Yeah, oftentimes with this new Orc strategy can be a great timing for Orc because there's no Destroyers and there's no Frenzy yet. Right now, there's no Destroyers to punish the Walkers, so especially with Ensnare and Spirit Link and magic damage against Ghouls, you can be really good. That is the theory. But if the game went wrong, if the Undead is over-leveled, if the Farseer dies twice, all of a sudden the usually strong Orc timing is not looking strong at all. Ideally, with this little push that we saw here, you want to lose nothing, keep yourself alive perhaps with a heal scroll, buy time for the expansion, and ideally snipe statues. If you get statues here early with a Walker damage and the Ensnare, that would be ideal. But this game has been only ideal for one man, and that certainly wasn't FoCuS.
Well, we're certainly used to seeing that. Remo happy, of course, giving himself the biggest opportunities to have the most ideal of games. Ghoul Frenzy coming along right this second. This is the most second perfect timing here. The Ghouls are going crazy now on the Great Hall, which is definitely going to be cancelled. And he doesn't even need the Destroyers here right now. The paltry force of FoCuS won't do much here to mitigate the damage of Happy right now, but the Stomp does come out in order to stun those Ghouls. But again, they're so full HP right now, and I think Happy could even potentially look for a surround. I would be interested to see, but the two bats, though, will help take care of that Destro. Oh, beautiful calling over to get rid of the second bat. Oh, wait, there we go. So one bat was detonated, one was killed, and FoCuS has to call an early GG.
Quick 1-0. Clear first map here by Happy. Leaving no doubt who was a superior player, at least on map 1. Things looking a bit off for FoCuS as well. He was pretty late with the TP. Some hotkeys weren't pressed right away. Maybe something was a bit off there. With a feeling on the stage. Happy though, looking utterly convincing, as always. And FoCuS here on the first map, really not yet getting things to go his way. I'm still not quite sure if he has the practice necessary to play with a new style. I think if he was to go for the more classic Blade Master style, I would have more hope for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree, Remo. I feel like the Blade Master was a hero that FoCuS used to use a lot. We saw Soen as well be successful with that in the past, and I feel like maybe it's time to dial it back to old strategies that they used to play a lot. I mean, we've seen so many times how successful the Blade can be against Undead, but it is super execution-based. So FoCuS hasn't been practicing the Blade. I feel like maybe throwing it in now wouldn't really work out, and he might have to stick with that Farseer.
Yeah, his Farseer mass air style, for example, was really looking good, especially on maps like Concealed Hill. Farseer first, Shadowhunter second, and then with Hex creeping, you can be really sneaky. Snipe big items, take camps away from the Undead, and perhaps try to overwhelm with mass air. In fact, in the tournament circuit that he's been playing over the last few months, he was able to get a lot of victories against good Undeads. 1-0, for example, oftentimes fell to the strategy. But you know, the little wrinkle in this argument is Happy almost never seems to lose to that mass air stuff. He has adjusted with his excellent creeping as always to hit the timings, level up timings where he needs them, and the Alchemist third and all that stuff. So I mentioned to you off air before. Honestly, I'm feeling a bit pessimistic for FoCuS's chances. I don't see a clear way to victory for him here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, honestly, either, because the old style with Headhunters, you know, I feel like is really figured out at the top level. Even though Orcs were trying to add additional base defenses just to prepare for any sort of frenzy timing push, I feel like it doesn't really matter for Undead. You know, if they just find you on the map or prevent you from creeping, it feels equally as bad. They could even set up another base behind or just sit on 50 foot for as long as they want. So yeah, perhaps we'll see the double beastry style with mass air. I think that would probably be FoCuS's best chance for survival. Yeah,
it may come down a lot to the maps as well. There are some maps which tend to be really strong for Orc with some strats. I still think the Blade Master triple hero style is extremely good on Twisted Meadows, because normally there you can hold off timings fairly well and then explode onto the map, creep a ton yourself, and make use of the late game heroes. Also Turtle Rock, in my opinion, can be very strong for that style. In fact, yesterday, these two played already in the best of 5 grand final of the Weekly Cup. It was these two contestants in the grand final. FoCuS lost that game 1-3. Did get the one map win on Turtle Rock, though. But of course, Turtle Rock not in this map pool. Twisted Meadows would be. Of course, we have a mostly modern map pool. I've been informed that we have slight technical issues again arising, unfortunately. But the team is hard at work and should be about to fix it. It's time for FoCuS to reset his mind, wash this one away. Good thing is he has experience with, you know, getting broadsided by Happy, as they all have pretty much.
Yeah, I think how many countless players have been put through the ringer with Happy. I mean, he always comes out guns firing. The first map of any series, it feels like he starts really strong, and he just never really seems to lose momentum. It's very rare that we see him go down and then have to fight back, but we have seen Happy also able to turn series around when he is down and do those insane reverse sweeps.
Yeah. Yeah, last time in RaRaLand, he wasn't really in that position, didn't really need to. We'll see if FoCuS can now make things more difficult for him on map 2.
And here we go, folks. The map will be Springtime this time, a relatively new map. How do you feel about this matchup in general, Remo, on Springtime in particular? Is it particularly good for Undead or Orc?
I would say because of a lack of sample size, I couldn't really give you a definitive answer here, meaning I don't think I see this map much in this matchup. For Orc Triple Hero, I don't think I would like it much. It seems like you lose, you're not able to gain map control for most of the game, which means a lot of the important middle camps should go to Undead. You know, the furball camps in the middle with possible Sobi masks, the shops, those will be very hard to contest. Normally, if you play Blade Master Triple Hero, you want to have a big map where you can play passive, give up map control. And if we don't see the Blade, we see the Farseer, Fast Tech again, which seems to point towards that expansion play once more.
I will say one thing about Springtime is that for Undead, you know, typically you creep an easy camp and then tech up and pull all the ghouls and try to get a big camp done, especially against Fast Tech, because you know that there's not going to be grunts or headhunters streaming in. But Springtime doesn't really have the easiest orange camps in the world to secure. We've got the Sasquatch with Inner Fire at the Mercenary camp. We have the Sasquatch and the Trappers at the Gold Mine. And then in the middle, we've got those trackers with the High Priest as well. And then the shops are also very hard. So what I'm hoping for FoCuS here is that he's able to put on enough pressure in the early game and prevent that super early level 3 that we saw last time from Happy.
Yeah, level up timings will be crucial on both sides. Every last hit matters. Happy, normally, if he's playing his best, will not allow anything to go to waste and be given over. Some ghouls go low, but they're all saved in the end. But if FoCuS manages to drain all the mana here, the DK could also count that as a win, more or less. And of course, it's all about slowing down that DK as much as possible. Already, preventing level 2 is quite valuable. The aura, of course, making everything easier. FoCuS is fast. Tech with no units means there's not much he can do early, but he's being as annoying as he can with the wolves here.
Yeah, with just the Farseer, it is pretty difficult to put pressure on the Undead, and we can see that Happy has brought in more ghouls just to make sure that he gets this last hit. This is absolutely crucial, and it does indeed go to Happy. And one wolf may potentially also give experience away. Hopefully FoCuS can micro that one off. No, he does not. So that is level 2 unlocked for Happy right now. And the aura, as you mentioned, is just absolutely crucial in being able to micro the units around. You see this ghoul, he's too speedy and is able to retreat into the back of the base. Happy playing this early game very well indeed.
Yeah, crazy min-maxing here by Happy, by the way. Almost every Undead there would throw the coil, but Happy sees, okay, the Farseer is backing off. I don't need to use the coil. I don't need to expend this mana. I have a Narrow at home. I can trust in my mechanics. And so far, this has been pretty much a flawless game. And especially looking at the DK's mana pool, can be a bit worrisome for Tier 2. The weird thing is, FoCuS at some point will have to fall back, will have to creep the natural, will have to get the second base running, and that will be free time for Happy to creep, at which point he is likely to get that level 3.
Yeah, I feel like this time FoCuS needs to get a much cleaner expansion off and be able to hold off any DK Lich harass that may be coming out. It is very hard to prevent the level 3 in general, but you need to make the Death Knight use as many coils as possible in order to secure that level 3, so that if he does decide to pressure you as the Orc player, then it won't be nearly as deadly as it was last game. I mean, Happy just waltzed out over and took out the Farseer right back.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the items aren't quite as insane just yet. Now, worth mentioning, the gloves and the mantle are still very good for the Lich. You can see the DK here following after the ghoul, ready to use the coil if it's necessary. But again, Happy is trying to not use it if it isn't quite necessary, which once more it's not. And that, along with the coil before, that's 150 mana saved already. Happy has an Acolyte in the enemy base, confirming what surely he must have been expecting. And FoCuS, is actually eating some aggressive coils here. Happy now suddenly willing to make use of that mana.
Yeah, it's interesting to see from Happy, because that's going to cost 3 coils at the very minimum. And I don't think Happy can really catch up. The Staff of Teleportation purchase here from FoCuS will surely keep him alive no matter what. So I'd say perhaps a little bit of a waste, that particular coil, especially given that Happy did such an excellent job preserving his mana up to this point. But I would say that it's still not the most consequential, still more than half of Happy's mana pool available to him on the Death Knight. And FoCuS, in the meantime, he's getting 2 Raiders out immediately, usually followed by Ensnare, and that does help to mitigate any pressure that may be coming from the DK and the Lich. Happy not going to quite get level 3 here from this creep camp, I do believe, Remo.
Yeah, seeing the ghouls to the natural. 6
nice.
Ghouls, parallel creeping. Good scout, though. This is a big deal by FoCuS. It's got the tele staff to staff on top. Ooh, this is cool. This prevents this camp being taken. This prevents level 3 DK. This is a good play. A ghoul goes down as well. But a key part is still missing. We still have no expansion in sight on the Orc side.
Unfortunately for FoCuS, I think Happy is going to get that level 3 still from the camp. It's going to be fairly close. Just the level 2 Tuskar left, and it may indeed be level 3, and it is. That is unfortunate. So FoCuS, unfortunately, did not manage to accomplish one of the goals here, which is delaying DK level 3 for as long as possible.
And again, we see super strong items on the DK. Glove, Circlet, Claws, and Mantle. This Lich will once more be amazingly equipped right off the bat, as we're about to see him join. TC finds a ring, that's always a good item for him, but FoCuS is behind in levels, and he's still missing the most important part of this strategy. He just didn't find the window, didn't find the timing to get the expansion planted, and I think Happy knows this.
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit of a blunder on FoCuS's part to go all the way cross-map with everything, your heroes and your units, instead of creeping the expansion. Yes, the Sasquatch with the item does look juicy, but what's juicier is getting the gold mines. The gold mine secured for yourself in order to produce as many units as possible. But that timing from Happy again is going to hit like a truck, and this expo is looking real late. Oh, it's going to be set up in the middle though.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. FoCuS making use of the specialty of this map. Here on Springtime, we have an expansion, a gold mine in the middle, which is very exposed, but there's 0 creeps there. You can just plant a base, and nothing's going to be attacking it. There's no creeps close by. Perhaps the reason why this is FoCuS's pick. But it's in the middle of the map. It's easy to attack. Not easy for the Orc to reinforce towards. And now we see FoCuS going for the same timing or attempting it again. He's got the Raiders, he's got the Spirit Link. If he could fight Happy right now out in the open before Destroyers, this could be great.
Happy just does such an excellent job of knowing when the Orc is going to pressure. Manages to buy the Orc Corruption just in time before the shop goes down.
Yeah.
It may... Oh, Destroyer form was also cute. Happy is so on top of these moments. He knows what's going to happen 2 steps ahead.
If FoCuS had gotten this shop 5 seconds early, this would have been so huge, dude.
It would have been huge.
Prevent the shop, prevent the upgrade, at least for a while. But Happy's there just in time. Everything seems to be falling in place for Happy. And importantly, Happy realized, okay, my statues are right now a weakness. My ghouls are right now a weakness. Happy held them back, just was defending with the heroes, which are, of course, looking strong, especially on that Lich. Tell you what, though. If the expansion finishes, maybe we get a tower there, there might be a chance for FoCuS.
Yeah, this time from Happy, we're going to see 3/1/1 heroes, which is significantly weaker than before. No insane consumables like the Mana Stone. And FoCuS has 2/2 heroes, which is probably about the best you could hope for by the time the Undead push comes. One of Mana Stealing, a decent item, but not insane. Would have loved to see the greater heal potion or greater info, but a fight is going to kick off straight away, and the Raider goes down immediately to that first Coilnova FoCuS fire. And the expansion, oh, I love that Reinforced Burrows is done, and Spike Barricades is prepared already in advance.
We're waiting for the Bad Riders, they're not quite here yet. The Destroyer has absolutely no counter at the moment. FoCuS taking some damage already. FoCuS also trying to expend mana on the Undead side. The TC seems to be taking quite a bit of damage despite the ring being there. Coil flies once more, TC in trouble. Spirit Link to protect him, but still the Destroyer is ready to counter.
That one to the Mana Stealing was absolutely crucial to prevent the Lich from finishing off the TC with the Nova. The Spirit Link was coming in a little bit late, and I think he actually really needed to use that item straight away to keep himself alive. You see the Peons being ravaged right now by the Skeletons and the Frenzy Ghouls, of course. The 2 Bats looking to try and make their connection with the Destroyer, but actually the DK doesn't have any Coil right now. Okay, Coil just came up, so there is 1 Coil Nova available. We need 2 Bats in order to secure that Destroyer kill.
FoCuS trying to entice the Destroyer in. If he's close enough, he can use the Unstable Concoction. It takes 2 Bats for Destro, and especially if Happy's mana is low, there might be an option here. Coilnova though! Right before the staff, that must have been just on the threshold. Now we got the Bats, perhaps even too many, but outside of the Bad Riders, what is there for the Orc?
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused, honestly, Remo, why FoCuS decided to Staff of Telly so close to the Undead. Happy clearly had enough mana for Coil Nova, and that was the end of the TC. But FoCuS is still standing as strong as he can. We see the Bat Riders and the Wolves actually pressuring the statues well. Also, Walkers do good damage against statues, of course, as well. But the trouble is that the economy is not really online for FoCuS. Yes, he has the Burrow and the expansion, but it's not mining, and FoCuS won't be able to really get up to the massive units that he needs.
Oh, FoCuS in trouble next!
Well.
And that's the next hero kill. How many is this now for Happy? I think this might be number 4 in this series. Is this the end already? It almost looks like it. The Burrow here is a good reinforcement, a good static hold, and a bit of help. But now with more statues coming for Happy, we can see the Undead having the supply lead. And things for FoCuS looking dire. But as long as there's an expansion, perhaps there is still hope.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count FoCuS out too soon, but the bats here, they did manage to secure 1 kill, but one bat does go down for that as well. I feel like FoCuS needs every unit possible right now. He has absolutely no heroes to hold the expansion, so we need as many units as possible. The Walker's actually getting a kill here, yeah, on the Ghoul that does go down. Happy, you know, he's sieging away, but the trouble is the Undead is building the mana pool back up again. You know, we see the statue with mana, providing that regeneration to the Undead heroes. Actually, both are casting the mana spell, which is interesting to see. Oh, Dark Ranger hits level 2 as well. That means that she's able to silence the TC. We should see a perfect silence timing here. No, actually, the silence does not connect. It connects a little bit late, and we see a few more ghouls potentially going down. Destroyer tries to soak up the wolves, but still dies even though the Devour Magic went up. And the TC is in danger once again. Is this the 3rd hero kill of the game, potentially, Remo?
Good Spirit Link there. I think it came in just in time to save the TC. The Bad Riders also were flying in at the right moment to get 1 destroyed, but there's still another 1 left. Burrow, Spear! Oh
so close.
My! Not even 20 HP separating this destroyer from death. If the Burrow falls, the game's over. No Burrow means no expansion, and the chances are 0. FoCuS has to try everything to hold this static defense. We have more bats coming in. If they get the connection, a double kill here would be monstrous. The Farsi is also almost back. Here comes 1. That is almost the double. Got the 1. And the Burrow is still up for now.
This Burrow has been fighting for dear life, it feels like, for the past 2 minutes right now. I think we still have peons being microed in and out, but the health is getting low on all sides. Torn Chieftain is coming back, but it feels like he hasn't healed up enough in order to stand in the face of Happy right now. Does get a good stomp. But I feel like the Burrow here should be going down momentarily. Really nice dodge, actually. Oh, 1 peon does go down, unfortunately. Not able to keep every peon alive. Does FoCuS. 2 more Raiders streaming in, though. Might help FoCuS to get potentially a hero kill, which I feel like is something that he needs to stabilize in this game.
He's weighing his options. What can he go for? Not again! The TC shall fall once more, and this game is over. Happy, convincing as always. 2-0 play. And FoCuS, who was supposed to be the Happy killer, unable to do it here. There will be a chance still in the lower bracket, but Happy has yet to face a real challenge.